Joining us now is Dr. Christian Greer. He is the president and the CEO of the Michigan Science Center, back with us once again as they open their doors for their free Wild Weekend. Dr. Greer, thanks for being back with us today.
Tyler, it's great to be on the Megacast. Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, appreciate it. So November 13th, November 14th, this weekend, the Science Center is opening its doors for the free Wild Weekend. Tell us about that, because it sounds like a real good time.
It is a real good time, or at least it will be. We're hosting an annual animal and conservation themed movie marathon and pet adoption, and we're going to have a lot of STEM and STEAM activities. And we're partnering with Michigan Humane and the Detroit Zoological Society. So, you know, it's crazy to think about, but we have so many things that are close to us, around us, in our environments where you can learn about STEM. And we're featuring those furry friends that are right in your home, our pets. And they're going to be on display along with a lot of other cool activities this weekend.
We're joined by Christian Greer, president and CEO of the Michigan Science Center. Learn more about the Science Center, including programs like Free Wild Weekend, by going to mi-sci.org. That is mi-sci.org. So there's going to be, you mentioned some of the many different activities and partners that you have for this event. What are you hoping that people take away as they come out to the Free Wild Weekend, both on November 13th and the 14th from this event? And what might be some areas of interest that people might come to this event specifically to see?
You know, Tyler, that's a great question. You know, we're so appreciative of the support of Strategic Staffing Solutions to bring this free community day to the public. And it's kind of a way for people to take a sneak peek. You know, we only have a $99 membership, and we think that you can't see all of the experience in one day. So having the support of Strategic Staffing Solutions to be able to create these opportunities are really important. So some of the takeaways are really simple. You know, we're on this big blue marble we call Earth. It's an oasis of life. I don't know if we're alone in the universe or not, but we're certainly not alone on this planet. We share it with many wonderful animals, and many of those animals are going to be here for pet adoption. So that's probably the biggest draw. Dogs and cats, they're all very cute, they're all very fun, and we want people to learn more about them. Their training, their nutrition, veterinary science is going to be important. We even feature a film in our 4D theater, and it's called Backyard Wilderness. Backyard Wilderness is a fun film that just tells you about all the wildlife in your backyard. So some of you that live in urban areas or in rural areas, you see a lot of wildlife that's around, and we want to try to focus on that to give people a chance to learn more about it.
We're joined by Dr. Christian Greer. He is the president and the CEO of the Michigan Science Center. Their November 13th and 14th Free Wild Weekend coming up this weekend, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on both of those days. So November 13th and 14th, 10 a.m. It starts, finishes up at 4 p.m. You need to make reservations, however, in advance to attend the free community weekend. You can do that at their website, mi-sci.org. That is mi-sci.org. And so you're partnering with a number of different organizations. The Michigan Science Center is partnering with Michigan Humane, with the Detroit Zoological Society, and others to put this event on. How important was it for the Science Center in planning an event like this to engage with community partners throughout the local area on a number of different topics, not just focusing on the wildlife in our local area, but also on pet adoption, and also focusing on other scientific topics as well, and providing that wide scope of information in these different areas for the public to enjoy and to learn about?
I think I'd like to build off of the term that you used, the wide scope. That's really important. You know, we're a 501c3 nonprofit organization with a mission. And, you know, our tagline is, we put you at the center of science. And part of the way of doing that is to immerse people in science, immerse people in nature, immerse people in places and experiences and events where they can use their critical thinking skills, or think about things in terms of creative problem solving like scientists do, technologists, engineers, mathematicians. But we can't do it alone. And it's really hard. when you work for an organization like us, you want to take on the world, you want to change things, you want to get people connected, but you have to kind of look at yourself in the mirror, be realistic, and recognize that you need partners to take on some of these big projects. Well, there's no better partner than the Detroit Zoological Society. They're a very popular organization, well respected, and to be able to work with them as a community partner for an organization like this is important for animal husbandry, to understanding veterinary science. They bring all that to the table. And Michigan Humane, I have to say, I have a personal place in my heart for Michigan Humane, because just last year, our family cat passed away, and I wasn't sure about if we could find another cat that would warm our hearts as much. And Michigan Humane partnered us up with a beautiful cat. Her name is Sophia, and I owe them for making the kids happy to be able to do that. So it's a wonderful thing that if you think about science, a lot of people don't have that on-ramp, or they don't have a practical way that it can make sense to them. But when you have furry, cute animals in front of you, you start asking all kinds of questions. It makes it a lot easier to understand STEM.
And so then, Dr. Greer, of course, you mentioned earlier on that Michigan Humane will be having some pets there that will be up for adoption. Tell us what they will have there. I would assume, the typical house pets, cats and dogs, may be there.
Right.
And then what times and what days? Will that be both days?
Yes, both days. And it's important for people to recognize that, many of these animals have been rescued, or they're in very troubling situations. They end up at Michigan Humane in a loving place. And their tagline is to help, for you to help them find a forever home for these pets. And, the last time we had this event last year, it was so popular. And you're going there and you see these animals and they're looking right at you and saying hello. And the kids that came with their parents really had a good time getting to know them. But, they go really, really fast. I think we had every single animal that was on site last year adopted, which is crazy to think about, but they found their forever home. So it's very important for people to come early so that you can see a cat that maybe fits for your family, or a dog or a puppy that might be just the right size for your house. And we're hoping to use this as a way to talk about biomechanics, homeostasis, how animals have these superpower senses like hearing and smell that we don't have. So it's fun, it's exciting, and we're hoping that people can come, have a good time, learn a little STEM, and work with Michigan Humane and the Detroit Zoological Society, sponsored by Strategic Staffing Solutions.
We're joined by Dr. Christian Greer. He is the president and the CEO of the Michigan Science Center, joining us today on the MegaCast. The event we're talking about coming up this weekend. It is the November 13th and 14th. Their free wild weekend featuring pet adoption and animal movie marathon with the Michigan Humane Society, as well as Detroit Zoological Society. Also, it's a free event, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturday and on Sunday. It's also 10 to 2 p.m. for the pet adoption on both of those days. You have to register to attend. And to do that, go to their website, where you can also learn more about the Michigan Science Center. That is mi-sci.org, mi-sci.org. And so, Dr. Greer, this event coming up this weekend, but there's plenty of other programming regularly happening at the Michigan Science Center and ongoing programming. What are some of the other ongoing programs that, outside of this November 13th and 14th 10 to 4 event, that people will be able to experience right now over at the Science Center?
Absolutely. Well, as I mentioned earlier, Tyler, the 4D theater that we have is really a lot of fun, and we're hoping to get some new films for the year that's coming up in 2022. But right now, we're playing Backyard Wilderness. It's a fun film that teaches you all about the wildlife in your backyard. We also have a planetarium in which we're working to display a program called One World, One Sky, and it is a Sesame Street production with Big Bird, and gives you a tour of the nighttime sky to learn constellations. It's for younger children, early childhood STEM, which is really important. So we feature that. And then normally we have our BASF Kids Lab. We have our science stage, where we do explosive demos with a fire tornado, or we use liquid nitrogen to super chill something. So there's lots of cool things to do. We have a gift shop that people enjoy with lots of cool science toys. You can play with fun toys, but you can also learn a little STEM with a gyroscope. So it's a fun place to be. We like to let people have have fun. And it's an environment where you can learn, make mistakes, try some things out, and including with some of the extreme weather events that we've had recently, we have an extreme weather event called Earth, Wind, Weather. And Earth, Wind, Weather is a fun experience where you can actually put your hand in a vortex of a tornado that's about 13 feet tall, and it's just a lot of fun.
We're joined by Dr. Christian Greer, President and CEO of the Michigan Science Center. And so you mentioned part of this weekend's event will be in the 4D theater. You mentioned other ongoing programming in the 4D theater. People have heard of 3D movies. They've been out for a while for now, but maybe they haven't heard of a four-dimensional theater experience. Tell us what that is and just exactly what it means to be a 4D theater.
Yeah, well, for the relativistic electrodynamicists in the room that probably think this has something to do with relativity, it doesn't. It's more just taking 3D, which takes a two-dimensional image off the screen, and we're familiar with that. You know, the red and blue goggles or the polarized lenses are always fun. But the fourth dimension is kind of more entertaining because we have other things like water sprays or bubbles that come out or air cannons that shoot air across the room. So you're watching a film and you're watching a bird fly through the air and you can feel the air. Or you're getting close to a waterfall and there's a water spray. Or there might be some crawling critters on the floor of the Amazon rainforest and you might just feel something by your feet. So it's kind of a way to bring the traditional 2D image alive and to be able to experience it like you're really there. So that's kind of fun. People like it. And it's a fun thing to do at the Michigan Science Center.
We're joined by Dr. Christian Greer, President and CEO of the Michigan Science Center. You can learn more about their 4D theater and other ongoing programs and exhibits by going to their website at mis-sci.org. That's mi-sci.org, where you can also register, and you have to register if you want to attend this free event this weekend, their free Wild Weekend, November 13th and 14th at the Michigan Science Center, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., including the Michigan Humane's a pet adoption event, which will be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on both of those days as well. And then Dr. Greer, going forward, what are some other upcoming programs that people can expect to be seeing at the Michigan Science Center in the coming weeks and months?
Yeah, well, we're hoping to do some fun activities around the holidays to give people a chance to get together with their family and friends. And many of these things will feature different programs that we do with other partners that we work with, science partners, other organizations. The big thing that we have on site right now on our fourth floor space, which a lot of people don't know we have a 9,000 square foot fourth floor special exhibit hall for science. And we are featuring an exhibit called Math Alive. Now, you might not think ordinarily that a math exhibit would be a whole lot of fun, but I'm here to tell you that this exhibit is probably the most fun and math exhibit you've seen in your life, Tyler. It's a wonderful experience that actually flips the script, and I'll tell you how it does it. It basically takes cool things and teaches you about the math, as opposed to teaching you about the math, whether it's geometry, algebra, even arithmetic or calculus, and then applying it to daily life. It takes daily life and then shows you the math, which when you think about it, a lot of math was created by people contemplating how things work in the real world. So snowboarding, controlling a robot, cybersecurity, building a tall building, music, even photography is featured in this exhibit, and weather, which is a lot of fun as well. So you come into the exhibit, you play a lot of games, you do a lot of challenges, and you learn about the math, whether it's angles and degree measure, or it could be variables and looking at things in areas under the curve, like in calculus. So all of this stuff is a lot of fun. And most people come out saying, gosh, I never knew math could be that fun. So we want people to come down and check out Math Alive. It's a fun exhibit on our fourth floor, 9,000 square feet of engaging mathematical activities.
We're joined by Dr. Christian Greer. He's the president and CEO of the Michigan Science Center. You can learn more about all of those upcoming activities and their events, including this weekend's free Wild Weekend, where you can also register to attend the free event by going to their website at mi-sci.org. That's mi-sci.org. And Dr. Greer, just another couple minutes with you before we'll say goodbye. Anything else at this time that would be interesting or important for our audience to know about the Michigan Science Center, or anything else we haven't discussed today?
Well, I will say one of the things I'm most proud of at the Michigan Science Center is to be able to get as much news coverage and social media and great shows, Tyler, like yours at the MegaCast. We're just one organization. We want to try to reach out to as many people all over the state, actually, not just in this region or in Midtown Detroit, because we think it's so important for people to get science and technology, engineering and math habits of mind. And those habits of mind are really important for a 21st century economy. And we have probably the largest per capita group of mechanical engineers in the nation. It's right here in this region, right? And we know they're interested in this, and they share this with their families. So we want people to feel like you don't have to be a mechanical engineer to be able to learn STEM. And we want to get that word out. And being on shows like the MegaCast help us get the word out. We put you at the center of science, and we want you to feel as though science is for you. This is an identity you can have. It's things that you can learn, whether it's looking up in the sky through a telescope or looking at the smallest things that you can find through a microscope. This is important, and we can't do it without partners like you and without shows like this that get the word out and let people know cool stuff going on right here in your area.
Well, we're happy to do it, and we thank you for joining us again to tell us about this great event coming up this weekend and other things that are going on right now and in the future at the Michigan Science Center. Thank you, Dr. Greer.
Thank you, Tyler. Take care.